Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I achieved this look, but also how to get your skin to look glowy and dewy and just camera ready at all times, because yes, lights can be a little harsh and the camera does sort of pick up on everything. I'm just gonna show you how I achieved this look. It's very simple, very skin oriented, and the theme is hydration and monochromatic. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know if you like this video. So today's look is going to be all about hydration. We're all about the skin with our makeup look. We're not doing anything heavy. We're keeping it simple and clean. So to start off, you always want to start off with a clean face. So I always like to start off with L'Occitane's Divine Foaming Cleansing Cream, which I love because it's so moisturizing, but it really cleans your skin as well. And then I always follow that up with the Divine Cream with a little bit of the Youth Oil, which I use as a primer. So I actually don't use a primer, because if you have acne prone skin, primers do tend to make you break out because they go into your pores. So that is why you always want to use a moisturizer that's going to make your skin plump and hydrated. And if you want to try out all of this, I actually have the Divine gift set with me. So in this gift set, you get the Divine Cleansing Cream, you get the Divine Cream, which is a moisturizer, you get the Youth Oil as well, and then you also get an eye cream. So if you want to give the gift set a try, I'll put all of that in the description box below. And especially now, since it's the holiday season, what better way to brighten up someone's day than to gift them with the gift of glowing, radiant skin? And if you haven't tried out L'Occitane before, they've actually come out with a whole series of gift sets. So another good one to try is the Best of L'Occitane gift set, and you get a whole range of full-size products, from hand creams to makeup removers to bath and shower gels, and they all smell orgasmic and they all make you look dewy. So I'll put all the links to that in the description box below, so you can gift someone this holiday season, or you can just try out some of the products yourself. So let's get straight into the makeup look. So I've already prepped and primed my skin. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and cover up any sort of hyperpigmentation that you might have. And since I've been breaking out this month, I have quite a bit of pigmentation on my cheeks, which is where I always break out. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and cover all of that. I'm using the NYX HD Photogenic Concealer in the color Deep Golden. I usually use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I've run out, so this is sort of my backup. And it's fine. The only thing is that it's just a little bit warm for me, so I have to mix it with something else. So I'm gonna mix it with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Fawn, and I'm just gonna go over just so that it's actually my skin tone. So all I'm doing right now is just covering up the hyperpigmentation. So I personally prefer to use my fingers, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend. So now that I've sort of put the concealer on, I like to let it set before I put my foundation on, and that way you get more coverage that way without having to put on tons and tons and tons of foundation. I forgot to mention that I've already done my brows and I already put lashes on beforehand, and that's because it takes forever to do brows and lashes for me. So because we don't want this to be a 4-hour video, I've already done that beforehand. So then, after putting on my concealer, I'm gonna go in with my foundation. So I feel like my foundation is probably my biggest makeup secret right now. So I use the William Tuttle foundation in the color Toasted Honey, and William Tuttle was made specifically for video and camera, and so it is by far the best foundation I have ever used in my entire life. You can't really find it like in a drugstore like a Sephora. You'd have to go to Alcone. I think they're the only ones who stock it right now. It's a pro makeup item, and a makeup artist used it on me a few months back, and I've been hooked ever since. Especially if you are like me and you have olive undertones and it's really hard to find a foundation that actually suits you, then 100% I would try William Tuttle. So I'm gonna go in, and I'm using my fingers because that is just how I prefer to do my makeup. So I'm gonna go in with William Tuttle, and I love it because it's so creamy. Like it's very like high coverage, but without being heavy. I used to use Kat Von D because I really had really acne prone skin, and I had a lot of hyperpigmentation, and I used to use Kat Von D, but it was so heavy and I could literally feel it just sitting on my face, and then the color payoff was amazing, but it wasn't necessarily my skin tone, so I always had to mix, and I'm not about that life because I like to keep shit simple. So if you're looking for a foundation that is full coverage but also not heavy, then 100% try out William Tuttle. So after using my fingers, I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just buff it in, just to make sure that everything is properly blended. So a quick tip about using your beauty blender, I feel like most people know this, but I didn't know this until recently, is that the more wet that your beauty blender is, the more product it's gonna absorb. So yes, you do want to use it while it's damp, but you don't want it to be too damp. So now that I've done my foundation, I'm gonna go in with a concealer to do a highlight. So I'm gonna use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Caramel, and I'm gonna go underneath my eyes. You guys have watched a million makeup tutorials, I'm sure, as we all have, so I'm sure you already know how to highlight. What you want to do when you highlight is don't just do what your favorite beauty blogger does. You want to highlight according to how your face is shaped. So a lot of people like to go all the way to the top of their highlight, but because I have a round face, as you can see, that's not flattering for me because it just makes my face look extremely wide. So I want to keep the light centered right in the middle of my face because that's gonna give it a little bit more just structure. So I then go over my NARS with Fawn just to give it a little bit more color, or else I'll look too yellow. And again, like, makeup is just one of those things that you just have to make it your own. Like, don't just blindly follow what your fave Instagrammers does, because not every trend works for everyone, and that's fine. Like, personally, a lot of beauty trends actually don't work for me, and I am okay with that. Like, I'm cool. So then, while I'm waiting for my concealer to set, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a light contour. I actually prefer for my highlight to also double as a contour, which just means I'll highlight so much that you highlight so much that your face just looks contoured by default. So I like to go not so heavy on the contour. So I'm using the Illamasqua skin foundation in the color Chestnut. So I don't think they sell this in the US, but I found it when I went to London, and I just got a little sample. So I'm just gonna go in on the sides of my face and just give it a little bit more structure. Then I'm gonna cut the cheek, and anything that's left over, I'll just put it on my forehead and around my nose. And then I actually forgot to, I like to highlight underneath my brow. I don't like to do it above because I just feel like it looks a little harsh. And yes, I do like to have a straighter brow. I'm not really a fan of arched brows on my face. I just think it looks a little harsh. I know a lot of people are not a fan of the straight brow, but this is just what I do. So then this is where I'm gonna start blending my highlight. So I'm gonna blend with my fingers because that's just what I do. So now that I've done my highlight and my contour, I'm just gonna go over my cheek contour with a blush. So this is a blush called Raizin that when I don't wear foundation on a day-to-day basis, I pretty much use this to cut the cheek. And this is just gonna give it a little bit more color and make it look just a tad bit more realistic. It's extremely pigmented though, so I try not to put in too much, and the rest I just put on the perimeters of my forehead. Sorry, I can't speak and do makeup at the same time. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how Jackie Aina does this every day. Like, wow. So then I'm just gonna give my highlight, just because I'm extra, just a little bit of a boost and just add a smidge, just a smidge more of the LA girl in Fawn. So then comes my favorite part of the makeup tutorial, which is the actual cheek highlight. So let's give me the illusion of cheekbones, and I am very extra when it comes to the highlight. You know when beauty bloggers roast people who put 10,000 tons of highlight? Like, I'm one of those people, and I'm proud and I have no regrets. So I'm gonna start off by highlighting the tip of my nose. So I'm using the Becca highlight in the color Topaz, which I think is every black girl's highlight, except now it's also Trophy Wife since Fenty came through for us. So again, I'm dabbing this in with my fingers, and I like to, when I use my fingers, I prefer to dab rather than to pull at the skin for more coverage, but also it's just not good to pull at your skin. And now that I've let my under eye highlight set, I'm gonna go in and blend it for the last time. And then I'm gonna go in and layer my highlight with another one. You guys see how much highlighting I'm doing? Like, I'm honestly disgusting. Because I just feel like if you can't see it from outer space, then what's the point? Like, I feel like everyone in the galaxy should see my highlight. So I'm gonna go in with this MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Cheeky Bronze, and I'm just gonna go over my highlight one more time. So now that I'm bronzed and highlighted, I don't usually do eyeshadow. I feel like I naturally already have just like darkness around my eyes, and I kind of like it. But also I have hooded eyes, so eyeshadow, for the most part, I'm just like, what was the point of this? But just to add just a little bit more punch in the picture, I'm gonna just contour my eye with the exact same contour foundation that I used to contour my face. You can see that I just like to use the same products for everything. I don't like to have, I don't know, I'm a makeup minimalist. So I'm gonna go in and just sort of around where I would have a crease if I didn't have hooded eyes. I'm gonna go in with that contour color. And then I'm gonna go in with that same color and just go underneath my lash line. And this is just a subtle touch, like it's very subtle, but it will sort of come out on camera. And yeah, that's pretty much it for eyes. We are almost done, guys. So the final part. I'm gonna set the makeup now. So I'm gonna go in with the Sacha Buttercup setting powder, which is the best setting powder honestly in the entire world. You can don't at me. And I don't like to bake, so I'm just gonna put it on and let it be that. I find that when I bake, it makes my makeup look cakey, so I would rather just put it on properly. And then gonna go in with the powder on my smile lines because I'm always smiling, so I have the most prominent smile lines. And I found there really is no cure. Like, the only thing to get rid of smile lines is plastic surgery. So this does help quite a bit. So if you have smile lines, consider getting Sacha Buttercup. So now that I've pretty much done the face and we're on to our final steps, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my lipstick. I'm using Colourpop in the color Limbo. And I'm just gonna let it be matte. I kind of drew it on weirdly, which I always do, but I'm too lazy to do anything about it or to perfect it. I just always struggle with liquid lipstick, like I don't know what it is. You would think that I would just use a lip liner, but... So that is pretty much the finished product. I like to always add dots on my face. I feel like it's kind of my signature thing. So that is pretty much the final product. I'll just brush up my brows just to finish off and just make them look a little bit more feathery. I do naturally have thin brows, so making them look feathery is kind of a hit or miss. And then I'll finish off with a setting spray. So I like to use the Urban Decay All Nighter makeup setting spray, and I'll just spritz that all over my face. Even that just sort of gives it a little bit of extra dew on the face. And there we have it, guys. So this is the final product, guys. I hope you like it. I'm no makeup artist or professional or anything, so I just hope this was simple and helpful enough for you, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. But yeah, let me know what you want to see in the next video, and if you are interested in learning how to edit or in doing set design or just photography in general, feel free to click back into my photography and video series. And thank you again for listening and for being with me and for watching this long ass video all the way to the end. So I will see you in my next video. Bye.